Hello everybody and welcome back to Noia Dev, the series that aims to prove that one developer can create a successful MMO RPG. If that sounds interesting to you, then you should subscribe. My name is Dane and today we are going to go over expectations for the upcoming alpha test. Let's get into this. Before we get too deep into today's topic about the alpha test, I did want to go over a couple of new features that I added to the game. First and foremost is the new tile set created by Clockwork Raven, the Underworld tile set. He even made a couple of example scenes, so check this out. The reason that I commissioned this tile set is because someone actually brought it to my attention that a lot of MMOs actually do start off in quaint little forest villages, and in my head I'm going, oh wait, that's me. So not to spoil anything, but you do start off in the Underworld, and that's because, well, you're dead. As with a lot of things, this isn't a trope that has never been done before, but it is a little bit less common. The reason for starting in a different area other than a quaint little forest town isn't necessarily just to subvert that stereotype, but it did get me thinking as to why the character would start in the Underworld and why they would be dead. And that actually did send me down a creative path in writing some of the backstory and lore of Noia itself. So it all worked out. Moving on, I wanted to show some work that I've been doing on the combat systems, and namely monster attack indicators and telegraphing. In some more recent games, mobs will now actually indicate where they are going to attack and where it is not safe to stand. This helps with the ability to create more intricate and complex combat encounters, and it gives the player a clear understanding of how that combat is supposed to play out. Mobs will now clearly indicate where certain major attacks are going to be going, and you as the player can make the decision where you want to take that attack head on or you want to dodge out of the way. While some monster attacks will hit you no matter what, these attacks will add an element to combat that will make it a bit more dynamic, and it won't just be two people bonking each other's heads back and forth until one is dead. The next change that was implemented is actually a new skill window. Previously, the skill window was just an indication of the different weapon types and a single bar of all the different skills that were associated with that weapon. With the addition of charged and channeled abilities and configuring abilities to actually rank up based on usage, this opened up the possibility for skill trees rather than just, oh, you leveled up, here's your new skill. The skill tree is pretty straightforward. The farther down something is on the skill tree means the higher level you need to be to unlock it, and if a skill is linked to another skill via this line, that means you have to do something with that predecessor skill, most likely level it up to rank 5 before the new skill will be unlocked. This will add a little bit of side meta to skill usage for players. If you want to be an ice mage, you can go down the ice mage line rather than just ignore the fire line. Or if you want to focus more on defense, you can go down the defense line as a tank rather than the DPS line. If you want to be a completionist and do literally everything, you have the ability to do that. You just have to put in the time and use those skills in order to master them. Okay, now for the reason that you're all here. Let's talk about the upcoming alpha launch. So I wanted to set the expectation of what it will be in the alpha launch and what an alpha launch even is if you don't know. An alpha is a buggy mess An alpha launch is a minimum viable product, a proof of concept. There will be probably 1, maybe 2 sets of armor, 1, maybe 2 weapons per type. There will be a handful of quests. There will be 1, maybe 2 dungeons, and a handful of monsters to beat up. It is a proof of concept that the game that is being made can work. During it, I will be taking player feedback. We like this skill, we don't like that skill. Something in the dungeon broke. I can't equip this piece of armor when it says I can. This needs to be better explained, etc., etc., etc. This is also the time for the players to submit their feedback and suggestions on how the game can be better. A beta test, the next version, is essentially the full game minus bug fixes. A beta test is meant to simulate the full and completed product, but things might still be broken. I'm only one man, so I can't test literally everything thousands of times to test every permutation that there is available, so that's where beta testers come in. After beta test, once we believe that all the bugs are fixed, you go straight into the launch. At that point, the game is live. Hopefully it works. You can sometimes have a soft launch, which is more meant to test whether or not your server hardware can handle the load of a full player base. But that's down the line. I did reach out to the Discord with a couple of topics that we're going to discuss here, but I also asked for some additional questions that they wanted answered. So if you want to be part of those conversations, you should join the Discord. So, to start off, will the accounts be saved? Will they be stable? Yes, there is a database. It's currently working in the game, so any work that you put in will be saved between play sessions. Do note, there will be database wipes. That's part of an alpha test and a beta test, so I don't think most people would be too upset about that, but I wanted to set the expectation. The database will be wiped occasionally to reset progress, to retest things, so expect that. Will the game run in a browser or a launcher, or how will it be run? That is a good question. One of the main reasons why I picked Unity for this project is because it compiles very readily to different platforms. So, Noia will initially launch in browser only, and the alpha test will be done in browser only. But the plan is to have a PC, web browser, and Android and iOS client. I've already tested with Android clients and a PC client and a web browser client all connected to the same server and all cross-playing at the same time, and it worked fantastically, so I don't see any problems with that going forward in the future. How will accounts be created? For the initial alpha test, I will be creating the accounts. You will need to be a member of the Discord server, and not now, but when the alpha test launches, you'll PM me with what you want your account name to be. I will create the account, and then you will be able to log in and create your characters. When will the alpha test launch? I understand that this is a big question. You see a lot of games on Steam that are just permanently in the early access phase, and they seemingly never launch. Well, let me give you the timeline. It's right here in the Trello board. I have set the limit on myself that everything here in the doing column is what is left to do for the alpha launch to start. I'm not going to add anything more to this column until it is cleared out, and once it is cleared out, the alpha launch will happen. So that's it for this week. With the release of the Underworld tileset, there's nothing more that's holding me back from getting the alpha test up and ready other than just the work that needs to be done. So I gotta get back to work, and we'll see you next time.